Hi, my name is Penny. Welcome to my channel. This video is going to be how to have a fantastic first date. Okay, on a prior video, I talked about how to get ready for your date, how to safely, navigate the online dating scene, and some things to watch for. So let's have the fun part of the date. Okay, you've already got a date scheduled, and it's going to be at the local coffee shop. So now what? We've gotten ready. I want you to arrive about 15 minutes early. And I say 15 minutes because most of my dates have shown up at least 5 to 10 minutes early, and that way you've beat him. You're going to find a comfortable parking spot in the back or behind the alley by the back door, and you're going to come in and you're going to pick up a small coffee. You're going to find the perfect bench to have a seat at. That way you can see the front window, but you could also see the front door. Okay, you want to be able to look at the environment, and you want to smell the coffee roasting and see the people in lively conversations and really just relax. Take a few deep breaths. Put away your cell phone if you're not going to sneak a picture of his vehicle when he pulls in the driveway. And just be ready to experience the moment and make a memory. Okay? So, 90% of the time, when the gentleman gets there, he's going to send you a text that says, "Hey, I'm in the parking lot. Are you here yet?" Excuse me. This is where you say, "Yeah, I got here early. I'm already inside. Come join me." Okay? Very inviting. It's going to definitely make him feel welcome to come in the building, and he'll be less awkward knowing that you're there and you're waiting for him. So you're going to watch him walk up, because where you're at, you can see the window. And when he walks in the door, you're going to stand up, you're going to wave at him, and you're going to smile. Just a nice little smile, and kind of wave him over to the table. As he's walking to you, we are going to assume that he is exactly what you expected, and you are happy and content with what you're seeing coming up to you, and we're going to continue the date. At the end of the video, I'll talk about what to do if it's not so good. Okay, so let's name him John. John is walking up to you. Go ahead and widen your smile, okay? And go in and hug him. Just a nice, soft, easy hug, even like what I call a sisterly, church hug. But you're going to hug him, not squishing the girls against him, nothing sexual. There's a couple reasons for this. Physical touch is huge, okay? It is going to help him relax instantly. It's going to give you an opportunity to smell him. Does he smell amazing? Okay. He is going to get to smell you. He's going to just get to feel how soft your skin is, how soft your body is, and how feminine you truly are. Okay. Those are all qualities he's looking for in a woman, whether he says it out loud or not. Those are things that men have talked about in surveys that really turn him on, is when a woman smells good. Well, if you're sitting 6 feet away at a table, he can't smell you. So those are things that he'd be like, "Wow, she smelled so amazing." Or, "Her hands are so soft. Oh my goodness." Whatever. Those are little things running in the back of his brain and putting you in that feminine role. Okay? Now, if he just kind of stands there awkward, you can say to him after you've hugged him and stepped back, "Hey, I got here early, so I grabbed my coffee. If you'd like to go grab one, I'll wait for you here." He then may say to you, which they usually do, "I notice your coffee's almost gone. Would you like a refill?" Smile and look at him and go, "You know what? Absolutely. I think that's a fantastic idea. I'll go up there with you." Go ahead and follow him. He's going to buy your coffee at that point, because this is a manly thing. He's asked you if you want a coffee. He's offered to go get it. You've made him feel more manly because you did that. Okay? You allowed him to be the leader. And I know in today's world, women are competing with men, but this is not the time. Okay? In a relationship, let him take the lead. Let him do it. Let him do the heavy. You got enough stuff being the leader at home, and of the kids and of jobs and all that. Enjoy your cup of coffee, not a power struggle. Okay? So you get your coffee and you head back to the table and you start sitting back and you're relaxing and having a conversation. The first question I like to start with is, "Hey, I noticed on your profile there was a picture of you standing on the mountain. Where was that picture taken at? Okay, that's going to bring back a memory. Probably should be a good one, you're hoping. And he's going to tell you about, oh, that was when my family and I went to Yellowstone National Park 5 years ago. We had such a blast. Let him talk. And then you can say to him, what was your favorite part about it? He's going to be like, oh, I really loved the geyser. That was amazing. It was so beautiful. You can end that conversation or that piece of that conversation with I have never been there, but that sounds absolutely beautiful. I will definitely put that on my to-do list. Or if you've been there, say, yeah, I went there, in 2018. I loved it. My favorite part was the waterfalls. They were so gorgeous. I got some great pictures there. Now, what you've done is you're showing him your happiness. You're showing your eyes glowing. They're twinkling. You're talking about something you're passionate about. He's talking about something he's passionate about. And it's bringing the endorphins in that he's excited. These are feel-good hormones. You're making him feel good, and that's a great thing. And the conversation feels good to you, so it's comfortable. It's not as much work. You're going to be able to relax even slightly more. Okay. My next question I always say is, or something similar is, hey, can I ask you a fun question? He's going to say, yeah, because now it's becoming a game. What are we doing? Say, you know what? The lottery is up to $1.2 billion. If you won tonight, what's the first thing you'd do? Men are hilarious. They are like little peacocks or little boy in the candy store. Their eyes light up and they start talking about, ooh, I've always wanted that Dodge Ram dual, suspension diesel truck, blah, 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 a new truck, a new boat, a new house. I'll buy mama a house. I'll buy my daddy a house. And they go on with this huge fun list that is so awesome just to watch their face light up and talk about all these things that they would do. And it's fun. Sometimes you get the guy that doesn't really say much and he'll be like, I don't know, I'd quit my job. Awesome. So if you quit your job, what would you do? What would you love to do? What's your passion? Then you can lead on from that. You'll find, oh, you know what? He loves to fish. Fantastic. Boring as hell, but fantastic. Where's your favorite fishing place? How cool is that? I lived in Minnesota for 5 years, land of 11,000 lakes. Have you ever been there? Cool. You can get into the conversation and you can kind of feed off what they say. Now, if he turns that conversation on you and says, what would you do? I'm a tax accountant. This is what I do is taxes. So I almost always go, unfortunately, because of what I do, I'd be calling Uncle Sam to give him his 40% because he just doesn't give up. He needs to steal my money. That's not fair that he's taking half my, 50% of my winnings. That's just not fair. And we usually giggle about it. We laugh. And it becomes more of a sense of humor joke. And we can have a few IRS jokes because almost everybody can joke about the IRS and not be offended. Okay? So that's usually where I go. Then I like to do the more flirtatious question. Okay, this is about in the middle. I only ask about 5 questions. That's usually 15 to an hour, depending on how you extend that conversation. But my favorite question is, if I were to ask you to cook me dinner, what would you make? You're going to get one of 2 answers. Ooh, I don't cook. I would have to say we're going to the steakhouse down the road because, yeah, you don't want to see me in the kitchen. Okay, so that's going to tell you a couple things. He eats out a lot. He's going to take you to some nice places if he just offered the steakhouse down the road. And that's okay. Some people don't cook. But you also know that if you were to marry that man, you'd be doing all the cooking, cleaning, and, that kind of stuff too. And if you're okay with that, that's fine. Just know that he's not going to help you flip the bacon in the morning because that's just not his thing. Okay? But almost all men seem to brag, whether it's good or bad or correct or not, that they are a barbecue master. They have the best smoked meat, they have the best steaks, they have the best whatever, and then they start peacocking again. Their chest comes up and they start ruffling, and they'll be like, oh, I'm going to make you a T-bone steak with a baked potato and a side salad, and they start feeding off your energy, and they start getting animated, and it's fun to watch. Absolutely fun to watch. Try it sometime with just like a conversation with your friends. or your coworkers and see if it works. It does. Okay, so if he tells you he's going to make you that T-bone steak on the barbecue, oh my goodness, that sounds so delicious. I bet you're fantastic at that. You'd be like, oh, I am. And he'll giggle, and you just, fluffed his feathers a little bit. And you say, guess what? That's a third brownie point for you. And you're going to be like, what? There's brownie points involved? What's going on? Guys love a game. They just want it to be fair, and they want it to be fun. Okay? So now he's curious what your brownie points are. He got a third brownie point because he can barbecue, or says he can. He wants to know what the first and second are. This is where you flirt. Okay? You're only going to tell him one. You're going to say, well, the first one was that gorgeous smile of yours. It lights up a room, and I love how your eyes just glow when you smile. Very attractive. I like it. Okay? Or you could pick, when you hugged me earlier, you smelled amazing. I love it when a man smells that good. That is really nice cologne. Thank you. And he's going to just peacock. He is going to get so proud that he made a good choice, and you reminded him that he made a good choice, and that he smells good. The cool part to that piece is every time he sees you, he's going to be clean, he's going to smell good, or he's going to be smiling, or both. Okay? You win. Okay? He's going to say, well, what was the second? Like, no, that's a closely kept secret. That is something I am not going to share. Maybe someday. Okay? You're leaving him wondering, oh my goodness, what else does she like that's attractive? Ooh, what else can I do? What did I do? Leave him wondering. Leave him excited to find out. Kind of wanting to know what that mystery is. Okay? Then, at the end, I like to ask the more serious question before we end the date. And I always say, what are you really looking for in a relationship? Now, it seems like a serious question for a first get-to-meet date, but here's the thing. If he tells you he is just really starting a casual date and he's really not interested in a relationship, and, he has no desire to get remarried, he never wants children, those things, believe him. He's telling you what he's feeling, and yes, he might change his mind, but at the moment, this is where he's at. And it's going to save you a lot of time if you are not on the same page as him. If you are someone that is looking to get married and have children, and he says, I've been married and divorced 25 years, my kids are grown, I'm done, I don't want any more kids and I don't want to get remarried. Okay, well, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Don't judge him. Don't say anything bad about it. Just say, okay. And then he's going to say something like, well, what are you looking for? This is my go-to answer. I'm not really sure, but I know that when I find it, I will know. Okay? If he's interested in pursuing a relationship with you, he is going to get curious if he can be that person that helps you recognize that you want him. Okay? That's just what men are like. Okay? So you've piqued his interest, you've teased him a little bit, you've flirted a little bit, and everything has been positive and friendly and happy and no judgment, no negative talk. If he mentions his ex, you can skirt the topic a little bit. If he says, oh, you're so much different than my ex, go, oh, that's because we're all individual. You're definitely different from my ex too. That's a good thing. And anyhow, because you don't want to stay in that negative zone. Okay. Now, if he keeps going back and forth to his ex, went on a date one time, and this guy, every other sentence was, well, my ex does this and my ex does that. And finally, at the end of that date, I looked at him and I said, you are not over your ex yet. You need to work on that anger piece of it before you're going to be ready to date successfully. We're not going to be a match, but you are definitely going to be a match for someone in the near future. You just got to get yourself ready. He took it with an understanding. He knew. He did call me a couple months later and ask me if my daughter was selling Girl Scout cookies, which I sold him too many cookies. But still, it ended with being an honest situation. So just keep it positive. Keep it happy. Okay? No stress. This isn't a interview. This is not, you're up on the little stage and you're being nitpicked to death by a judge. You're just having a nice adult conversation, just as if you were having a conversation with someone sitting next to you at the airport. Okay? Think of it like that. Nothing nervous. So now the date is coming to an end. It's, either been 15, 30, or an hour, depending on how you gauged it. It's going to naturally come to an end. And if it doesn't, this is where you're going to say, I've had a fantastic time. I've really enjoyed talking with you this afternoon, or enjoyed laughing at your stories with you. It was fantastic. I do have to get going because I do have plans this evening, but thank you for a great time. I had fun. At this point, he's either going to say, hey, I had a great time too, or I'd really like to see you again. If he asks you for a second date, say, there's definitely a possibility. I do need to check my work schedule just to make sure that I'm open. Would it be okay if I get back to you tomorrow? That's going to buy you that overnight to think about your date scenario and how comfortable you want to be with it. Okay? Stand up. Again, hug him goodbye if you're interested. If you're not interested, handshake. Okay? And you're going to say, hey, before I take off, I'm going to use the restroom, but you have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks for going out with me, or thanks for meeting me for coffee. Okay? And then walk to the bathroom. That way, when you're done with the restroom, you just go out the back door and you're gone. You don't have that weird, awkward front door. Do I walk him to my car? Does he walk me to my car? Do I have to hug him out there? Is he going to stand there and talk to me for an hour? Because that sucks, especially if it's cold and rainy. It ends the date gracefully, and you have an easy out. Okay, so let's talk about if he doesn't meet your standards. Okay, and by standards, I mean he walks in, he doesn't look like his profile. You have that feeling, just ew, no. Or he turns out to be an old neighbor that you didn't realize on the profile. Something weird. You have a couple options. If you are extremely polite and you just cannot hurt someone's feelings, you can sit through the date and just keep it very neutral and not give them any encouragement as far as reoccurring this date. You could say, when he walks up to the table, just say, hey, it was great seeing you. I hate to do this to you, but my roommate just called. My cat got out and I have to go get the cat. I am so sorry. Maybe we could do a rain check, but I didn't want to leave without seeing you since it was such short notice. Do you want me to buy you coffee before I take off? I'm so sorry. And just kind of beg for forgiveness. He's gonna probably understand. If he doesn't, that's on him. Or, hey, my babysitter just called and her son got sick. Or my mom just called and I need to go. Okay, you don't have to give a huge excuse. The work excuse works well. I just got an email from work and they need all of us on hands, or all decks on work tonight. All decks on hand tonight if I can talk, because the project got moved up. I'm sorry I gotta go, but thank you for coming out and at least meeting me tonight. Thank you. I'm going to use the restroom, then we're going to take off. Thank you. And then walk away. Okay. Now, if you are more gutsy like me, I had a gentleman that I met for a date. He did not look like his profile. Yes, he looked like his profile, but maybe 25 years ago. Okay. So we are having a conversation and I kind of was like, hey, your profile pictures don't match. What's going on? And he informed me that his daughter wanted him to start dating and had made his profile and used the sexiest old picture she could find. Okay, he's not tech savvy. I understood. I laughed. He laughed. It was an interesting conversation and a valid reason for why his profile pictures did not match. And so, not everything is out to catfish you. Not everything is out to be a lie, especially as you're getting older. You're running into people that just aren't as savvy as you are on the computer. So, sometimes giving them the benefit of the doubt is helpful. Okay, let's talk about body language. When you are interested in somebody, you're going to lean forward. You're going to maybe rest your chin on their hands. You're going to give them eye contact. You're going to laugh. You're going to smile. Eyes are going to glow. You're really going to be excited to have this conversation with them. And you are actively listening and shutting your mouth when you actively listen. Okay, you're not trying to overtalk them. You are using all your manners and you are just happy to be there. The other thing is your legs. if you're not wearing a dress, are slightly apart, facing him. Okay, this is an inviting stance that he feels welcome and listened to. Okay, it's a positive stance. Okay, now if you're not as interested, I lean back, I cross my legs, and I face my body away from him and turn my head. That way, it's not perfectly on. I'm not leaning forward, I'm sitting back, and you can tell that I'm cooler. I'm just not as interested. And I don't do any hand touching or any flirtatious as far as overly. I'm polite, I'm friendly, and we're still having a good conversation because this is a memory. And I mean, realistically, it's just practicing dating. And who knows, you might have a nice friend out of it. But regardless, when you are sitting in this position, they know you're not attracted to them. You can feel when someone pulls away from you like that. They're not going to ask you for that second date unless they're not normal and can't read social cues. But doing this posture with the dates that I've went on that I've not wanted to encourage or go on that second date has always worked for me. And when I stand up, say, you know what, I had a really great conversation. There's not a lot of connection, but that's okay. I still had a lot of fun, and I wish you luck in your search. It was nice to meet you. And then I leave. He doesn't text me, I don't text him, and the conversation's done. So it's a lot easier just to have that face to face, uncomfortable for a minute versus the ghosting him and making him want you. And then, heaven forbid, he calls 96 Kicks and puts you on blast on the radio because you refuse to see him a second time. Okay? That's what the world's coming to. So just have that conversation with him for 2 seconds. Get over the uncomfortable. It'll save you a lot. And you can do it politely and kindly. All right. I hope this date information has helped you, and you guys have a fantastic first date.